Hello everyone out there, YouTube, Facebook, or wherever you may be viewing me from. Today I'm going to be making chicken tetrazzini, and I'm going to be showing you some of the things that I did this morning trying to get prepared to do this dish so I won't be so long getting it ready for dinner after I finish my day. Let me show you some of the things that I did. Before I left this morning, I boiled this spaghetti and I left it covered on the stove. I drained it. I just finished sauteing a half of yellow onion, and there's a red bell pepper in there and garlic, a clove of garlic. This is what the red peppers come in, this kind of jar. I had one left over from when I did a previous recipe. I saved it, so I used that, and I'm going to save this juice because I'm going to put it in my recipe. Here's cream of mushroom. It's no special kind, off-brand kind. Cream of chicken, off-brand kind, Walmart brand. And a block of 8-ounce extra sharp cheddar. And as you see, Ragu double cheddar. I love this stuff. I'm going to put in some Velveeta. I'm just trying to get rid of the extra cheeses that I have left around the house. There's 3 chicken breasts that I baked this morning before I left the house, and as you see, there's liquid left on there. I'm going to pour that in my recipe also, and I'm going to peel the skin off of these, pull the meat off of the bone, and dice the meat and put it into my recipe. I have some pasta water left over that I saved from when I boiled my spaghetti. I'm going to put this in my recipe if I need to. Now I'm going to set up everything and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, guys. I apologize for the way that I'm recording this video today. My camera girls are gone back to school. I hate when school starts back, so I'm on my own now. I'm going to show you now what I've done so far. Okay, right here I'm going to show you, right here, this is Velveeta. I've cut up some Velveeta, and this is a little bit over half of that block of cheese that I showed you in the beginning. This is all that I have left of that, of the 8 ounces. I have some shredded Parmesan cheese that I have left over from when I did my shrimp Alfredo a day or so ago. I'm just trying to use up some of this old cheese. You can use whatever cheeses you like, but I'm using this because I'm trying to get rid of it. Here, this is the chicken that I did. I pulled it off of the bone. I pulled the skin off. I made sure there were no bones left, and I diced it up. And it's okay if your chicken is, like you can see right there, it's a little pink. It doesn't matter that it's a little pink because it's going to be put into the dish, and it's going to cook again in the dish, so you don't want it to be too dry. Right here, I opened my can of soup, and my other can of soup is open here. And another tip on the chicken, if you're going to be using that chicken that's frozen, boneless, skinless chicken, if you're going to be using that breast, then you don't need to cook it as long as you would this chicken. I cooked this chicken 35 minutes covered in the oven on 350, and you should cook your chicken cooked in the oven 350 covered, and make sure that it's just where it's almost done. If you poke a fork in it and it runs clear, it's done. It's done enough for you to have for your dinner or for this particular dish. So keep in mind, if you're going to be using the boneless, skinless chicken, you don't cook it at 35 minutes. You cook it a little less, and you make sure it's always covered, whatever chicken you're using. Here I have the spaghetti. So now let me get the rest of the things set up and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Now this is just the mixing stage. I'm gonna show you how I mix everything together. I had to put my spaghetti noodles in another bowl because I realized this bowl is too small to mix everything up in. You just go ahead and dump all your cheeses in there. You dump your soups. put your meat in there. There goes that in there. Here is that red pepper liquid that I had left. Dump that in there. Here's that Parmesan that I had that I said I was going to put in there. And here goes the cheddar sauce. And at this stage, you just go in with your hands, mix it up. And you can put seasoning with a little salt and pepper, which I did put salt and pepper in the sauteed vegetables that I did, the onions, the garlic, and the red pepper. I seasoned that also. So be light with the salt, because as you know, these canned soups have a lot of salt in them too. So don't be heavy-handed. I'm going to mix this up with my hands, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. You can see I put the peppers in there, the sauteed peppers and onions, and I sprinkle some pepper on there. And now I have some kosher salt. I'm going to sprinkle some kosher salt over there, not too much. And what I used this pasta water was for, I put it in this double cheddar bottle or jar, and I closed it up and shook it up and poured it in there to make sure I got all the cheese sauce out of there. I put just a little in there. Here's that liquid that's left off of that chicken I'm pouring in there. Then the next thing I would do is to spray my glass pan with some Pam. I'm going to mix this again, dump it in, cover it with aluminum foil, bake it 350 for 45 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, here's what the finished product is like. Looks like, rather. Now I'm just going to cover it with some aluminum foil, bake 35 to 45 minutes, and check on it afterwards to see what it looks like. Okay guys, here I am. My timer's going off. I set my timer for 35 minutes, and I'm going to check on my chicken tetrazzini and see what it looks like. As you can see, it's melting. The cheese is melting. That's what you want to see. And it's kind of getting firm, but it's not melted all the way through, and that's what you want. You want the cheese to be melted all the way through. So I'm going to put it back in there for maybe about 20 minutes, and we'll check on it again. I'm going to cover it back up and put it back in for 20 minutes, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm back, and my timer's going off again, and I'm going to check my dish and see what it looks like. Now, as you can see, it's all the way melted. There's more liquid in here, so it's really cooking really fast now. It's like you should want it. All the cheese is melted. If you can see that. All the cheese has melted. And it's done now. So now I'm going to sprinkle some cheese over the top of it. It's just some regular sharp cheddar. I'm going to cover it in cheese. And then I'm going to bake it for about 5 to 6 minutes, just a little bit, just so it'll melt the cheese on top, and then I'll be back. Okay, here it is. I used that entire package of that cheese. I covered the whole thing up. I'm going to bake it for about 5 minutes, 5 to 6 minutes, somewhere along in there, just until that cheese melts and it's a little brown around the edges. And I'll be back. Here it is, guys. Look at that. Yum, yum, yum. A cheese lover's dream and a lactose intolerant person's nightmare. But doesn't it look good? See, it's brown around the edges, bubbly around the edges. Cheese has melted on top of it. Now I'm going to just let it sit a little while and cool off before I dig into it, and I'll be back. Okay, now here it's cooled off, and I'm going to get a little bit out of there and show you how it looks. Now you see it? Cheese is melted, it's firm, and it's not too soft. That's it, guys. See you later.